Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast. This is Jenny,
And this is Chels.
and you're listening to.
Jenny and Chels.
And today we have a couple stories for you. We have one story from the No Sleep subreddit. Like it says that I keep seeing people who are hiding their faces. And Chels, what do you have for us?
I have a story about karmic revenge, which feels good,
I can't wait. Karma always is a B. All right, well, let's jump into the first story then.
All right.
So the title says, I keep seeing people who are hiding their faces. I keep seeing people who are hiding their faces. I first noticed it in a photo from Casey's birthday party. There was a group photo of us, all huddled together, smiling for the camera. But between me and Jack, you could see a man sitting at the table behind us. He was hiding his face in his hands. Guess that guy don't like to be photographed, Jack laughed. Yeah. Makes sense though. Who wants strangers having a picture of you, Especially with all the weird facial recognition and stuff cameras do nowadays. It was still weird though. Looking at the picture sent chills down my spine. I mean, his face was turned directly towards the camera. If he really didn't want to be photographed, couldn't he just tilted his head way down or put the menu in front of it? Why the creepy whipping angel pose? But some people are weird about being photographed. My brother never smiles on family photos just to annoy my mom. One of my college friends has to have like 5 pounds of makeup on her face before she'll be willing to take to be in a photo. Maybe this guy always hid his face in his hand like that. He thought it was being funny or something. And so I forgot about it. A few days later though, I went to the grocery store after work. I passed a little girl in the bread aisle standing next to her mom. As I passed, I looked down to give her a little wave and stopped dead. She was hiding her face in her hands, just like the guy in the photograph. Relax. She's probably just crying about something, I told myself as I hurried away. But then, why was her face turning in time with mine? As though she were watching me between the cracks of her fingers. I threw my groceries on the conveyor belt. The cashier raised her eyebrow as the cartoon of egg fell with a loud rattling sound. I'm in a hurry, I breathed as I ran over the keypad and stuck my card in. It had started to rain. Light pattering raindrops fell on the windshield, bleeding into the little rivers that distorted the road before me. Swish. I turned on my wipers and they swept through. I couldn't stop my fingers from frantically tapping the wheel. You have to calm down. Don't let this be like last time. I rushed into the house. The rain poured down now. By the time I got inside, my shirt was damp, sticking to my skin. Jenny? You're back? I raced up the stairs and ran into the bathroom. My hand shook as I grabbed a pill bottle out of the medicine cabinet. The pill rattled loudly inside, like a warning sign, and the letter printed across it read, expiration date, April 21. But I just couldn't. Jenny, Jack called through the door. Are you okay? I'm fine. Just I have a bad headache. I spent the rest of the evening wrapped up in a blanket, watching some stupid Hallmark movie as Jack listened to some podcast downstairs. And now, I don't know if it was time or the meds, I almost laughed at the incident earlier. I almost had a panic attack because some little girl was crying at the store. So stupid. God forbid somebody will actually have real problems, real things to panic about. I fell into a peaceful, dreamless sleep. The next morning, I went to work as usual. That was a good sign. Last time I had a panic attack, I had to call in sick. I took the elevator up to the 5th floor, humming to myself, sat down in my office and worked on emails from an hour over coffee. And then it happened. Taking a little break, I walked over to the window. I looked down at all the people hurrying along the sidewalk down below. But one was standing still. A woman in a black dress, looking straight up at me. But of course, she wasn't actually looking because her hands were hiding her face. In the same creepy peekaboo pose that the other two had. The blood drained out of my face. What the fuck? I backed away from the window, kept backing away until my legs collided with my desk. I yelped as I fell backwards, grabbing the edge of the desk just at the last second. Breathing hard, I collapsed into the chair. I left work early, claiming I was sick, and got into my bed for the rest of the day. I kept telling myself that I couldn't freak out, and there were perfectly good reasons for what I'd seen. Coincidence? Flash mob? Weird conspiracy plot by my ex-boyfriend to scare me? The doorbell ringing snapped me out of my thoughts. Jack was still at work, so I went downstairs. My hand fell on the doorknob. Oh my god. My hand fell on the doorknob, and I was about to open it, but something in me made me pause. A sort of itchy, tingly feeling, like I was being watched. I lifted my face and brought my eye to the people. No. There was on the front stood our elderly neighbor, Mrs. Rose, except her face was hidden in her hands, just like all the other people I've seen. That creepy peekaboo pose. Wrinkled, spotted hands covering her face. I drew the deadbolt and ran upstairs. I've been sitting up there for an hour now waiting for Jack to come home, but part of me is terrified. What if when he comes inside, he's hiding his face too? What then? And that's the end of part 1.
That's it?
Yeah.
What? I need to know. I need to know more. I need to know what happens after. I need to know if he's going, like, I have questions.
Yes. What are your questions?
Why do they all do, like,
the
do they get, yeah. Do they get contaminated by him and then they become his little minions?
By him who? I think it's a girl.
Okay.
Her name is Jenny. Yeah. Excuse me, it's Jenny. But I don't know if she contaminates them, because the first time it happened, it was from a picture. It wasn't even, like, I think maybe she's the one seeing it. Like, maybe it's in her head and she just sees the hands in front. Mm-hmm. But we don't know. Until we go to part 2 and part 3, we don't know. But I feel like it was just cut a little too short, you know?
I feel like it was cut too short too. And when I say by him, I think I meant the guy in the picture, the original. For some reason, I felt like maybe he is like some creepy spirit who's going to like follow her, or I don't know. Just it follows type of thing where they just, once you become aware of it,
then you just see it everywhere, and they're like, oh, she knows about us, we have to eliminate her. She cannot
make her join
tell
us.
anybody else. We have to take her, send her to the next dimension, you know?
As long as it's alive. Yeah,
like, it could be alive, but it could be torture, so I don't know. Do you want to be there?
See, why you gotta be like that?
I'm just saying, if it's different dimensions, the possibilities are endless. So it could be good sometimes, bad sometimes, which technically will be the one we're in now, right? No,
I mean, you don't know. Maybe we're in the bad version of our dimension. Have you seen the news lately?
I think we might have slided a little bit into the other ones without knowing it. It's very possible. I think so too.
I want part 2 though.
Alright, so that was part 1. So we're going to do part 2. So, part 2. I couldn't wait for Jack to come home. What if he was hiding his face from me like all the others in that horrible weeping angel pose? So I called him at work. Video called him. I breathed a sigh of relief when he picked up. He wasn't hiding his face. Hi, love, he said with a grin. Video calling me, huh? What's the occasion? When will you be back? His smile faded. Is something wrong? Everything's fine. Just trying to figure out on what to do for Ding dong. The doorbell rang, echoing up the stairs. No. Oh God, no. Mrs. Rose came back. Is someone at the door? Jack asked, frowning. Yeah, it's just a delivery. I'll get to it late. Ding dong. I'll see you soon. Bye. Before he could say more, I hung up. I lay there on the bed, staring up the ceiling, my heart going a million miles an hour. The doorbell rang once, twice, three more times before it finally stopped. I lay there listening to the hum of the heater. Thoughts swirled in my head. But for some reason, my mind kept boomeranging back to the Dr. Thompson had said all these years ago. They aren't following you. He leaned towards me in his seat, dark eyes filled with compassion. I know that your ex-boyfriend threatened you, but it's been several years now. Most likely, if he was going to do something, he would have done it by now. I'm going to prescribe you something to help with the panic attacks. You're lucky you only hit the curb. You could get into a much more dangerous accident next time. I was interrupted from my thoughts by the groan of the garage door opening. I ran down the stairs, my heart racing. The familiar thump of the garage door closing, then the swish of the fridge opening. I ran into the kitchen and stopped in my tracks. The fridge door hung open, hiding Jack from view. All I could see was his brown leather shoes sticking out from under the crack. Jack? He didn't reply. Jack? His foot took a step back. The side of his face slowly came into view around the side of the door. A tuft of dark hair, then an ear. Sweet, he said, gesturing to his full mouth. I'm starving. I collapsed into the kitchen chair. Oh my God, you scared me. The fridge door shut. He swallowed. Sorry, how was your day? Fine, just fine. I forced a smile. How was yours? He shrugged. Okay. I didn't tell him about what I've seen, but I had to ask. I had to know. Hey, Jack, can I ask you something? I got off my phone and pulled up the photo from Casey's birthday party. That guy in the background, what is he doing? We already talked about this yesterday. He's hiding his face from the camera because he doesn't want to be photographed or whatever. Yes, but how? What exactly is he doing? Jack gave me a weird look. He's doing this, he said, and raised his hand to his face in the same peekaboo pose. Fear shot through me. I grabbed his arms and pulled them away from his face. Don't do it. Okay, he said uncertainly. Sorry, never mind. But I put away my phone and stood up. I'm going to cook some pasta, I think. Want me to put some extra for you? Sure. So I'm not imagining it, I thought. As I poured water into the pot, it's not some weird hallucination or something. There's a photographic evidence that at least one guy was hiding his face like that. At that moment, I wanted to tell Jack everything, but I couldn't. Jack would no doubt just sigh and set up another appointment with Dr. Thompson. I love Jack, but that was the one thing I hated about him. Opening up to him often meant suggestions of appointments or vacations or books to read, not just engaging with me and trying to help me work through it. The rest of the evening went okay, though Mrs. Rose didn't come to the door anymore, and Jack and I even had a nice dinner together. I eventually fell into a deep sleep, comforted by the sound of Jack breathing next to me. I woke up with a start. The bedroom was dark. Shafts of moonlight fell through the curtains, falling on the soft bedding. I sucked in a breath and rolled over, reaching for Jack. But as my arm wrapped around his waist, I noticed something odd. His arms weren't splayed out straight in front of him like they usually were. Instead, the elbows were bent. My heart dropped. Jack? I whispered. He was still as a statue, facing away from me, his chest slightly raising and falling with each breath. Jack, I said louder this time. And then he did it. He rolled towards me, slowly. My blood turned to ice. He was hiding his face. His hands were pressed against his face in that horrible weeping angel pose. He didn't say anything, didn't move, just lay there facing me. This close-up, I realized the silvers of darkness between his fingers. There was something horribly wrong with him. They looked too dark. Even in the darkness of the bedroom, I couldn't see the glint of his face or any detail of his face, just a black void. I screamed. His face slowly tilted up as I jumped out of bed, as if he could see me between the cracks of his fingers. I jumped out of bed and ran into the hallway. I could hear his footsteps behind me, creaking across the whole old wood. I stumbled down the stairs and ran through the kitchen. His bare feet slapped on the tile behind me. I ran into the garage, panting, grabbed my keys, and dove into my car. I didn't care to look at him as I peeled out of the driveway. And that's the end of part two.
She just left Jack behind like that. Damn. She just ran for her life and left him behind.
What, like, I f- but she's terrified. That was the last
Okay.
person she would have thought. Because she thought it would happen the night before, and because it didn't, she just assumed, okay, Jack is safe, Jack is fine. And then now, I feel like personally, I know I always say, get out of there in the horror movies, don't check it. But I feel
Uh-huh.
like my instinct will want to check it because it's somebody that I know,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm
And
close
Cree.
to. I want to get to the bottom of it, of as much as I could. Like, I would try to pull his hands off
Exactly.
and see if he can come off, try to talk to him.
Exactly.
But
Trying to like make him snap out of it.
but the fact that he started chasing her down and he wasn't talking
Yeah.
is something else. Because at least if he was talking, he would be like, hey, Jenny, what are you doing? Like, where you going? What's wrong with you? Then you would know, okay, something you're imagining. But no, my man just started sprinting back, like trying to catch her or something. So I don't know. But there is a
Yeah.
part three, which is the final part, but we won't add it to this episode because then the episode is going to be too long. Stay tuned for part three.
I will. And I hope you guys will too, because I want to know the explanation.
Me too. I actually haven't read the story at all, so I was like finding out as I was reading it. So like at some places I had actually literally paused and I'm like, wait, what just happened? Yeah, it was fun. That was fun. All right.
It is.
So, all right, that was part two for the story. So we have part one and two, and we're gonna do part three in the next episode. Is it, Chad?
Unfortunately, we'll have to wait for the next episode. But yes.
All right. So then now, all right, Charles, you take it over with your petty. Wait,
So
is it karma
it's a
story?
story
What
about
is it?
karma doing its thing, you know? And yeah, let's
Oh,
just get into
okay.
it. The title is I hid
All
my
right.
field trip money in someone's desk so they would get in trouble. Definitely an asshole.
That's definitely an asshole move, though. It will definitely fit with that mind asshole, because that's an asshole move.
So this one says, definitely an asshole. I was in fifth grade, about 10 or 11 at the time. This girl named Caitlin had been the weird one in our grade. She wore cat ears and ate the big pink erasers. She would always get on my nerves since she sat behind me in every class, either hissing, purring, or spitting erasers around the room at people, including me on occasion. It was a week or two before the field trip, so we had to get a permission slip signed and turned in with the money. I came up with the best plan. I would put my envelope in her desk before we went out for recess, so by the time we came in, no one would think that I put it there. I would pretend cry and tell the teacher that my envelope was missing and who I thought took it. The beginning of the plan went perfectly. I successfully put it in her desk and went on my happy way to recess. All I had to do was fake being upset. We got inside, and I immediately ran to my desk pretending to search for my non existent permission slip. Crying, I ran up to my teacher and told her that I saw Caitlin steal it before recess. Our teacher searched for it in Caitlin's desk, coming up empty handed. I was beside myself, completely shocked and confused, knowing I put it in her desk. Little did I know, Caitlin already found it and stashed it in the classroom to take later. My teacher never found it, so I ended up not being able to go on the trip for insufficient funds. Karma's a bitch.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Caitlin is the OG for this one. I'm
Okay.
sorry, but you wanted to frame her? Little did you know, she was way ahead of you. She actually was a thief too.
Yeah, and she got your. Not only did she get your money, you didn't get to go on the trip. That's what you get.
Who? No, no. Who? Man, I don't even know. This girl. I mean, I understand she's. I mean, technically, she's not really a bully.
No,
Like, she's
because
just
Caitlyn.
weird. Like, I kind
Well,
of feel for her. I feel like that girl probably was bullied in class too. And then
yeah.
whoever is telling that story sounds like a bully because that's a bully move. And then she just got played.
To be
That's
fair,
real
though,
karma.
Caitlyn was spitting at her. Imagine you're sitting in class, you're trying to focus, and the person behind you is just like spitting the like biting off the eraser and then spitting at you. Like, not only is there the spit and then it's like just little things flying. Like, I understand being
Okay,
frustrated.
I understand that like can be annoying, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, because she said that she was the weird kid. What if
Right.
because she was weird and bigger than them, and wearing the ear cuts and stuff, like the cat ears or whatnot, and then kids were bullying her because of that. She became nasty towards them because she's like, you don't like me anyways. Here's some eraser for you. Yeah. But anyways,
Yeah, I
yeah.
would like that. Caitlyn doesn't appear to be a pushover to me because like her noticing that this girl had a plan to frame her and then just flipping the script. I don't
Okay,
know.
what if she
Something tells
didn't
me
know and she
Caitlyn's
just
smart.
came? Okay, I mean, God blesses you in different ways.
That's true.
And let's say you're asking for money, and then you come and there's money in your desk. Whom am I to refuse?
Whom am I?
Whom am I to refuse?
I
Okay.
would love for that to
It's like
happen
the
to
story
me.
of the guy that is drowning and he's calling out for God to come help him. And then the firefighter comes and he's like, no, 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 no.
God will
God is
help
going to
me.
help me. Go away. Meanwhile, God sent the firefighter to come help him. The guy come 2, 3 times. He's like, no, go away. God is coming.
Know how
You
to
know,
recognize your blessings.
know your blessings and accept them and be grateful. I
That's
mean,
true. That's
I can't
true.
blame her for anything, but she got what was coming her way. That's good for her. I
I
love it.
Yeah,
This is
honestly,
good
I hope
karma
that
right there.
and it
Hmm.
happened to her young. Hopefully, it stayed with her and she
Thank
learned
you.
not to try to
Thank you.
frame people.
Yeah. I still can't, how can you only imagine her face?
I know, right? She when she starts crying and the teacher is just looking at her like,
And the
"What?
happiness of Caitlyn going home with going on a trip with
Yeah."
extra money. Oh my god,
Uh-huh.
she probably gonna buy extra like snacks going on the trip for it, enjoying it without her.
I
Oh
wonder how she
my god.
figured out that Caitlyn had found it and that not like a yeah I and
Yeah,
that's what
that's
makes the most sense. But I wonder if Caitlyn later on after the trip came and told her, "Hey, by the way, I know what you tried to do," and
she would have said it. She would have said it
I
in the
hope
post.
so.
But okay, what if it wasn't Caitlyn though? What if she left it
Right,
there and some other kids saw her do it and stole
exactly.
the money?
Right, that's what
Now
I'm thinking
Caitlyn is
too.
framed and she got what she's supposed to get anyways, but we're not sure if Caitlyn actually took it or not.
Exactly. I hope I want to believe that Caitlyn is a mastermind and took it. That's that's what I'm going to go to sleep with tonight.
All right then. Well, there you have it. That's everything we had for you guys today, and that's the end of the
Mystery.
episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it like we did, and stay tuned for part 3 of the lady that is seeing covered up faces. Yes.
And we will catch you next episode.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Ciao.